What's up, YouTube? Silver Dragons here, and today I'm joined with Joseph Carrabba, the executive chairman for Winston Gold. Joe, welcome.
Oh, thanks, Caleb. I appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to talk about Winston Gold, but I also want to get your take on the markets. So, were you surprised to see gold crack $2,000 an ounce this year?
Well, I don't know if surprise was the right word given, all the fundamentals that gold is always traded off of and the chaos that we're seeing in the world right now from the COVID epidemic and what it's done to devastating the economies around the world and the amount of money that's being printed as we speak right now. Sooner or later, reinflation has to appear, and someone's going to have to pay this debt as we go. So I think when you look at currency markets and the amount of debt that's behind them without having any backing, gold is the natural place for people to go. It has been for thousands of years, and I think you're seeing that again. So, yeah, it's a pleasant surprise to see $2,000, but looking at the fundamentals, if you follow them with gold, it's not a surprise.
Oh, for sure. I have to agree with you there. And I just posted a video yesterday, and one prediction was saying $84 trillion for the U.S. national debt in the next 8 years. So, absolutely insane, a massive increase, which would be much more inflation. So, I'll just ask you, how high do you think gold can go? And also, how long can this bull run last?
Well, when you listen to where the big banks are right now, the Goldman Sachs, the Bank of America's of the world, they're well over $3,000 with that, and these are pretty substantial sources that you can use that just don't throw some of the numbers out like some of the other speculators that are up at $10,000 an ounce with it. And I think you've seen the slow and steady progress of gold through these last few months as well. Gold was out of favor for quite some time. It lingered between $900 and $1,100 for almost a decade before it started moving. And you see it move up and then slide back a little bit and then take another leap forward slightly more. So it's a stair step type of a motion if you watch the charts and look at them on a day by day basis that goes with it. So, yeah, I think cracking the $2,000 mark, which it's done once this year, and it ebbs and flows back and forth from that. Once we get over and can hold the $2,000, then I think, we're off to the races into the $3,000 range from there. And I think that's supported by many of the large banks right now and what they're publishing.
So, do you think we could continue to see gold go up for several years, a decade? Do you see any end in sight?
I really don't see any end in sight, given right now, again, with everything we've talked about with the massive amount of debt. And let me stay U.S. focused here with that. There's everything is in forbearance right now. The foreclosures are being held back, if you will, which is a good thing as the economy tries to recover. But everything is being driven by politics and the election in the U.S. right now. And after the election, when either the incumbent or the new president is seated, irregardless, sooner or later, they're going to have to allow the foreclosures to go forward because someone is going to be left holding the bag, if you will, on all of this debt that's there. That's yet to come. And when that comes, I think it's another round of the economy going into recession. So I see this going on for more than a few years, but more of into the decades to recover from this massive trillions of dollars of debt that we've accumulated.
Wow, such a good time for people to be getting into silver and gold. So, on that note, what's your take on silver? I mean, we've already had a really good run up this year, but I still think there's more gas left in the tank. What do you think?
Oh, I do as well. It lagged behind for so long, and the traditional ratios were so out of proportion that when it took that first big leap, it's just really starting to move back into the ratios that it belongs in as well. And I think having a portfolio of gold and silver, that's a pretty smart play, I think, in both of those. But I think silver's got a long way to run, maybe even on a percentage basis, maybe even more than gold.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. So, Joe, I do want to steer the conversation over toward Winston Gold. Now, you had a really good job with Newmont, the world's largest mining company, and you were earning over $300,000 a year annually before bonuses. Now, you left in order to run Winston Gold, which is a near-term producer, and you also put over 7 figures of your own money into it. Where is all this confidence coming from?
Well, yes, I was privileged to be on the Newmont board for 9 years and ran the Sustainability Operations and Safety Committee, which I'm quite proud of the achievements that Newmont made during those years with it. I left the board at the end of June when the Gold Corp deal was consummated. It's going to be a very large board dealing with putting all the merger as it should appropriately together. And I really enjoy the mining, the operations, being out west and out into the right where the action is. I just thought there's a big niche within the junior space, particularly of turning mines from drill bits into producing mines that go with it. There aren't many people that have done that in the junior space. Most of them are explorers, and then they sell out to larger groups of companies that come in with it. But when I looked at Winston, it's fully permitted in the mine. We've leased a mill that is fully permitted. So we had the whole process in place that goes with it. And again, we've now put all the pieces together with it as well. And that was very attractive to me. Montana is a very attractive state to be in. That's part of the due diligence and the risk mitigation that went with it. So when I saw it, I felt very comfortable after doing my due diligence, meeting the team, and jumped in with both feet, as you say. And here we are. A couple of years later down the track, we're getting ready to produce our first concentrate at the end of the month.
Wow, that's awesome. So looking forward from here, what's next for the company in the coming 6 to 8 months?
Well, I think, we'll establish our production. That's the focus right now. Certainly as in the underground mine, we've got 3 veins that we're working on, and we want to get different phases, if you will, to ramp up production. We suspect in the next 12 months we'll be at 150 to 175 tons a day at a 0.3 to 0.4 ounces per ton of gold and 2 ounces of silver a ton as well. We're really focused on the operating cost. We're between $850 to $950 an ounce in our operating cost. And we have minimal debt, and we've bought all the machinery that we need, both the mobile equipment underground as well as like the mill we've leased as we've rehabbed the mill and getting it ready to go. So next is to get it into production, get it stabilized. We're looking at about 30,000 ounces in the first annualized year. And then moving that forward to 50,000 ounces with the addition of the Custer workings, the old Custer mine that are on the property. And we're just starting the underground drills on that right now as we speak.
My goodness, Joe, that is a lot of gold. I mean, 30,000 ounces in the first year with room to grow. So I'll ask you this. Winston Gold's market cap is just shy of 50 million Canadian. How much are producers with similar ounces worth?
Well, if you take the cash flow off of that, normally it runs on an earnings per share of an 8 to 10 multiple. Right now we're running at about a multiple of, 0 with no cash flow, but you could look at it in a different way at about a 2 multiple that goes with it. So it's really a great entry point to get in, because once we start producing concentrate and we have cash flow, then we'll move into that next realm of multiples that go with us 8 to 10. So, if you math off the number of shares and what we're going to produce in free cash flow in 12-month year one, this could easily be in the 50 to 75 cent range.
That is great. Well, Joe, I want to say thanks for coming on. And is there anything else you would like to add? And lastly, where can people find more information about the company?
Sure, Caleb. Well, you can go to winstongoldmining.com. You can find our website there and all the information as far if you want to reach out to us personally. Be happy to do that. I talk to shareholders and potential shareholders all day that want to dig in a little deeper. We try and be very transparent with our shareholders as we go forward with them. We've had many great shareholders. We do have many great shareholders that have been very patient as we've made this progress that goes with it. And like I say, the last thing I would leave people with is, success begets success. And, we're one of the few small miners you'll find that's actually going to take it from the drill bit into production in 2.5 years. So very excited about that, and watch for more news at the end of October when we produce that first concentrate.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to that. And thanks again for coming on, Joe. And thank you all for listening. I will have the links down below in the description. And Joe, we look forward to having you on again and hearing how everything is going with Winston Gold.
Thank you, Caleb.